I think, though, that this structural inflation has now fed into structural commodity inflation, has now fed into stickier components of inflation elsewhere that are not going to go away easily. And so I think that I call it the liquidity lottery of the last 30 years. I've wondered quite a bit throughout the years, how is it possible that since the early 90s, we've had this incredible period of hypergrowth, albeit punctuated by the occasional financial crisis in between, but every single time a financial crisis reared its ugly head, the Fed was able to just flood the system with easy money with no consequence, no inflation, basically no lasting inflation. So I think this liquidity lottery of the last 30 years has basically inured all markets, regardless of whether it's equity, credit, or even risk-free markets like the bond markets. It's inured all markets to this, to this idea that anytime we see any sort of economic headwinds, boom, the Fed's going to pivot. Well, I think, at the risk of saying this time is different, I think this time is different, because what changes everything, in my opinion, is the resurgence of a structural inflation.